Thank you so much for everyone for joining. I'm going to move ahead here and get into our presentation deck. My name is Jason French. For those of you who have been a part of some of these webinars in the past, welcome back. I appreciate you joining. For those of you who are new, we're really excited to have you here. Our whole goal with these webinars is to really help educate our users, most specifically our parents and our athletes. We know that parents could use a lot of help in this phase. You guys are so important in this process. I'll talk about that later, but giving you guys some information, some education is always gonna be very helpful for everybody. And so a little bit about me, the guy that's gonna be talking to you today. My name is Jason French. Obviously, I'm an employee here at FieldLevel and a proud one at that, coming up on, or actually just hit my 2-year anniversary here at FieldLevel, and it has been a blast working with the people here at this great company that have amazing goals and where our hearts are when it comes to serving the sports community. We are here to truly help, and I'm going to give you guys details of what we do as we move forward. But again, really excited to be a part of this company. But I come to this company from years of experience as a high school football coach. I've been a part of a couple of championship programs. I've coached a whole bunch of future, current, and past college athletes. Some have moved on to the professional ranks. And I also get to do a lot of clinic speaking around mainly the West Coast, but I get to dabble in other parts of the country as well. But mainly the West Coast, get to fly around and do clinic speaking for USA Football. So I tell you all this to give you some reassurance that not only am I well-versed in what we do here at FieldLevel, but I'm out there, been coaching, working with parents, athletes, colleges in this process in my former life as well. So I hope you guys enjoy the education that we bring today. So today's topic is a parent's guide to understanding FieldLevel. And the reason why we decided to do this topic, and it's for multiple reasons, but again, like I said earlier, our goal is to help educate. And so I'm on the phones, we have other people here on the phones, we're in communication with parents on a daily basis. And we really want to help parents understand what we truly do at FieldLevel, how we separate ourselves from other websites or sports tech, recruiting services out there, how we differentiate ourselves, what makes us different, and what you can do and what you can get from FieldLevel, and what you cannot do and what you cannot get from FieldLevel. So we really felt it was an important topic to discuss. We do other things as we go throughout this month. Things that are highly impactful, how to understand our premium plan, how to help your athletes, have a better forward-facing brand of themselves. We'll be talking about that later this month. We have different topics that we've done in the past and that we'll do in the future that are going to be also very educational and beneficial for you guys. So again, glad that you guys are joining me today. So who are we? Who is FieldLevel? What do we do? FieldLevel is an athletic recruiting tool that helps athletes find the right college teams and college coaches find the best athletes for their roster. So how do we do this? I'm going to break this down for you. First and foremost, we are a coaches network. We network high school and club coaches with college coaches nationwide, literally nationwide, and actually globally. We have coaches in parts of Europe, Australia, Canada, Mexico, other parts of Central and South America that are part of our platform. And we network these coaches around the world to ultimately help the athletes find opportunities to play ball at the next level. So we believe that the high school and the club coach is the most impactful person in this process. And much like any of us here that have gone on and gotten other jobs in our lives, we need to have a resume. We need to have references. We need to have somebody that's willing to vouch that we're a capable employee and worth hiring, or at least worth interviewing. And so much like we have that in our adult lives, these athletes need to have resources and recommendation points for their athletic career. And the only person, the best person to do that is the high school and the club coach. And we know, based on thousands of conversations and all of the research that we've done over the years, and also our just firsthand experience as former college athletes, as former coaches, is that college coaches want to learn about an athlete that they're potentially going to recruit first from their high school or club coach. Of course, they want to learn about the athlete from the athlete. They want to meet the parents as well, but they want to do those things later on in the process when they've realized that this is an athlete they want to pursue. So again, we keep the coach at the center of this entire process. And again, we'll dig more into that as we unpack this presentation. But the ultimate goal is athletes getting the opportunities and finding the right fit. We don't want just athletes going to a school just because that school offers them a scholarship, or they have a baseball program or a soccer program, whatever the case may be. And we serve 11 sports. But we want them to be going to a program in a school, university, a college, wherever they go through, a junior college to a 4-year school, or they go straight to a 4-year school. We want the athletes and these young people finding the right fit. A phrase that I've heard thrown around, it's not my phrase, but it's looking for the 40-year decision, not the 4-year decision. And there's so many athletes that move on from playing high school sports onto playing college sports that make that decision based on just a football program or a soccer program or baseball program, and not what their decision is for their future. And the amount of athletes that move on from high school to college is a very small amount. It's a very small percentage. And so we really want to make sure at FieldLevel that we're providing a tool for coaches to help those athletes find that right fit. Hope that made some sense. So who are our users? What are their roles? First is the high school and club coach. And I'll dig into what they do in a minute here. Next is a college coach. And right in between there, we don't have a graphic board, but right in between there is the junior college coach, because junior college coaches are both helping recommend athletes to schools at the 4-year level, and they're also bringing athletes in from the high school and club level. So our high school and club coaches, internally we refer to them as promoters because they're promoting athletes onto schools. And then college coaches are the recruiters. They're bringing athletes in. And then lastly and most importantly, arguably, is our athletes and parents. And we lump you guys in together. We know that you parents are so impactful in this process and you want to be involved. And we want to help teach you where the right places to be are, and where to help your coaches, to help your athletes in this process, to keep you involved, keep you educated, and knowledgeable of what you guys should be doing along this process. So high school and club coaches, what do? They sign up and they add their staff. So not only is the head coach going to sign up, but they're going to hopefully add their assistant coaches as well. We recommend that whoever that coach is, that's an impactful person for your son or daughter's life, or a young person that's in your home, that they are on FieldLevel as that great advocate for your student athlete. They connect with college coaches around the country, sometimes globally. Next, they add and they certify athletes. So they'll invite athletes to be a part of their recruiting roster, and then they certify athletes. And what we mean by certify is they write a privatized evaluation of that athlete, and they project where that athlete can play. And I say privatize because we don't allow high school parents or the high school athlete to see this information. This gives our coaches an opportunity to be honest about the athletes, and for college coaches to be able to read this and know that the high school and club coach is writing an honest evaluation. But don't worry, I can tell you this as a coach myself, and I've read a lot of these evaluations over the years. We love your athletes. We do it because we love the sport. We love the young people that we get to be around and serve. No coach that I've seen has written anything negative. So they're always writing good stuff about these athletes. Next up is they collaborate with athletes and parents about the recruiting process. And we have other webinars that we've done in the past about how parents can help support athletes and coaches in this recruiting process, the conversations that should be taking place during this process. But in the end, athletes and parents should be communicating with their high school and club coach around this process, and the high school and club coach should be communicating with you guys about what's happening as well during these times. And then lastly, the high school and club coach has to communicate with recruiters as well on our platform. Again, our goal is to help these high school and club coaches connect with college coaches and vice versa, so they can communicate about athletes and ultimately help those athletes find the right place. So what do college coaches do on our platform? Let me take a sip of water here. They sign up and they add their staff as well. Colleges typically have recruiting responsibilities, these coaches. And these coaches will either have a recruiting responsibility that is geographic or positional. So let's say a coach is in Texas, they're an assistant coach, and they're responsible for recruiting first and second basemen, or they're responsible for recruiting the entire West Coast. So that's why they will have those coaches on their team and their accounts as well. They will connect with high school and club coaches nationally and also sometimes globally. They're able to search for athletes on our platform, so they can use, and we'll talk about that later, but they can use our search filter to find athletes that meet their requirements. They're now able to post recruiting needs, such an awesome feature that we've added, where college coaches are able to post their specific recruiting needs to high school and club coaches, so those high school and club coaches can now see what they specifically need, and if they have that, if they have an athlete that meets that need, they can send them a promotion that directly responds to what they're looking for. They're able to get athlete recommendations. That's what we call promotions. So they're able to field promotions from high school and club coaches, because high school and club coaches will be able to tell them, hey, I believe I have an athlete that'd be a great fit for your program. Here's why, here's my evaluation, watch their film, look at their grades. Please feel free to contact me to learn more about this athlete and then to ultimately begin the recruiting process. Next, college coaches are able to use our platform or messaging feature to communicate with high school coaches about athletes. They can ask for contact information to be released. They can ask about more detailed information about the athlete as a person. What are they like in the classroom? What are they like in practice? Are they a leader within their friend group? Things like that. And then again, once those college coaches feel that they have found an athlete they want to communicate with, they can use our messaging platform as well to contact athletes to begin the recruiting process. And the next up here is our athletes and parents. And again, most of you on here today are those parents. And again, so glad that you're here because we know how important you guys are to this process. So athletes and parents, they sign up. Athletes have an account. Parents are on that account as well. Their information is on there. That's how we are able to communicate with you. And we recommend that you guys are able to have the same email and password account on there so you guys can get on there and see your athlete's account as you guys go, making sure that the athletes are staying accountable on they're updating their information. You're getting responses back to colleges that that communicate with them. We know as the adults, we need to continually teach our athletes how to be in communication with people and how to respectfully communicate to a coach, whether they're interested in the college or not. So you guys are going to go on, you're going to connect with the coach reference. And we recommend that you guys are a part of as many programs on FieldLevel that you guys are a part of in real life. So if you play for a high school team and a club program and you're getting trained by a certain person, if they're on FieldLevel, make sure you add them to your account. You'll build your profile and target school list. And we recommend that you build everything out in your profile. You add everything on the left-hand side of the profile, add film, all very important features. Everything we have on our player profiles is important. And then you're able to build out your target school list for free as well. We recommend that athletes put a list of 20 schools together. You can move those around. You can also, move those around, and you can also allow coaches at the college level to know that you are targeting them. It's very impactful. And then lastly, you're able to communicate with your coaches on FieldLevel as well when they communicate with you, whether it's a college coach communicating with you that they're interested in recruiting you, or your high school coach saying, hey, I think you should add this school to your target school list. Go ahead and take a look at them and add them. So why athletes are found on FieldLevel. Or ways athletes are found on FieldLevel. Again, I'm seeing there's someone on the chat here. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look. Michael, we will answer all questions at the end of our presentation here. And from there, I'll open it up to everybody and I'll answer your questions then. So ways athletes are found on FieldLevel. So it's a very common question that we're asked. How is my son or daughter going to be seen on FieldLevel? Well, here are the two ways. First up is a recruiter's search. So they're able to go to a search filter, like I mentioned earlier, and they're able to break it down. So this is looks like a college soccer coach on here, what we're using for our example. And so they're able to look at what grad class they're in, what division their high school or club coaches projected them at, their position, their height, their dominant foot. Again, if you're baseball, it's dominant hand, which way you bat, which way you throw, GPA, SAT scores. They're able to whittle it down by location if they want to recruit in a certain area or look for athletes in a certain area. So they're able to put all this detailed information in, and we give them a list of athletes that meet those requirements. So that is the first way that athletes are able to be found. And you're able to see if you've been found on a search filter or if you've been looked at through your activity. The second way, and the most impactful way, are promotions. And that is when your high school and club coach, again, the most knowledgeable person about that athlete on the field or on the court, is actively communicating with college coaches, letting them know that this is an athlete that I believe can play for your program. And what happens between athletes that are not promoted from their high school and club coach versus athletes that are promoted by their high school and club coach, they generate 12 times more followers. Big deal. They get 8 times more profile views as well. So again, when a high school and club coach is promoting an athlete, they're going to generate a ton more activity on their profile, which obviously more coaches are looking at your profile, more looking at your film, are more able to see what that athlete is like. They're then able to be more interested in looking into that athlete and recruiting that athlete. So very impactful when a high school and club coach is actively promoting athletes. So how are we different from others out there in the recruiting space? And I really hope you guys pay attention to this. If you get nothing from today, I really want you guys to get this. Because again, we talk to tons of parents on a daily basis, and we explain FieldLevel, and then they ask us, well, how are you different than this company? And what can I not do with this platform? So let me start breaking it down for you. First, and I'm not going to use company names, but there are 2 core other companies out there. I would say that there are 3 major players in the recruiting space when it comes to this online tech way that we do things. And I won't use them by name, but I will kind of give you the basics of what they do. So the first is the do-it-yourself concept. And that is when a company, maybe your team, maybe your club team is signed up with this company, or you're doing it yourself, where they give you a big compilation database of contact information. And what they do is they let the parents and the athletes go do all this on their own. They contact college coaches, they call college coaches, they text college coaches. And so they have the database of information, and they do all the contacting on their own. Again, parents and athletes doing it all on their own. The coach is able to see what's going on. They're able to see that an athlete has emailed the coach, but they don't do any of the active promoting or contacting or building a relationship and bringing the athlete and coach together on the platform. Again, it is all do-it-yourself. That's what we got, DIY, do-it-yourself for athletes and parents. The next version is a do-it-yourself plus some guidance. So another company, what they'll do is they'll give you a database filled with information, and you're able to go out there and make these connections yourself as well. What they'll add in with this plan of theirs, based on what level of plan that you pay for with that company, is they'll have somebody that'll contact you and kind of guide you through the process. They'll also say that they are promoting you themselves. So a sales rep, basically an agent or a sales rep, will blast out emails to college coaches, letting them know that there's an athlete that's interested in playing for their program, or there's an athlete that's able to be recruited. And so again, it's going to be a do-it-yourself. Parents, athletes, you go do it. I will, as a sales rep, contact you and see how things are going, answer any questions that I can. And then you guys, again, are going to be mainly doing it on your own, with maybe a little bit of, on my side, sending out an email blast. And again, trust me, from, again, tons of information and research that we've done, college coaches get a little bombarded with all the email blasts. And then there's us at FieldLevel, where we are completely different from everybody else in this space, is we know that the coach is the most impactful person. The coach is the most important person, the most reliable resource, the most honest resource for these college coaches to communicate with about an athlete. And where the other two, the do-it-yourself concept and the do-it-yourself plus guidance concept is out there, those are all paid. You can't do anything with those platforms unless you're paying money. FieldLevel is free, and there is a ton of functionality that happens on FieldLevel that you can completely do for free. Tons of athletes are finding success using our free platform. I will talk a little bit about our premium plan, but again, tons of success happening on our free platform. So do it yourself plus some guidance with someone that doesn't truly know the athlete, and then FieldLevel, guided by the coach, guided by the person that knows the athlete the best, the person responsible for connecting the athlete and the college coaches together. So What can you not do? What can you do on field level? Again, we really want to be clear about where we separate ourselves and what you can and cannot do on field level. So I will go through this whole spiel with parents and I'll explain why we're different. And then I'll get the same question every time. Well, not every time. Okay, so I understand what you guys can do. I understand what field level is. How can I, the parent, or I, the athlete, email all these college coaches? What you cannot do on field level is you cannot email coaches or send video directly to the college coach. Again, it is the high school and the club coach that is creating this introduction, collaborating with you on the schools that you're interested in, the kinds of places that you're interested in, the kinds of locations and geographic parts of our country that you're interested in going to, and they will create the introduction. You, the athlete, you, the parent, cannot use field level to create that. Now, one thing that you may be saying to yourself, and hopefully this isn't the case, because I truly believe that high school and club coaches, it's part of their responsibility to help athletes find that next spot that they're going to play sport at and where they're going to college at. If you have a coach that is not putting in the effort, that does not believe that is their job to help their athletes find opportunities to play college sports, that is an unfortunate thing. I would be glad to talk to that coach, let them know and encourage them to be more impactful in this process. But if they are not willing to help, then yeah, maybe the do-it-yourself concept is maybe more along the lines of what you should be looking into, because there is some benefit to that if you don't have a coach. But we know the most impactful way to do this, go about this process, is the coach introduction. So with that said, again, let me reiterate, you cannot email coaches or send video directly to a coach. You could have your film on your platform, on your profile. Coaches can go and see your athlete through searching for athletes or because they were introduced to the athlete through the high school or club coach. Why? Again, we believe we're coach-centered. The coaches create the introduction. College coaches want to learn about potential athletes from trusted resource, and that is the high school and club coach. So some other things that you cannot do right now on our platform. You cannot edit videos. What you can do is you can take a clip or highlight film, and we've talked about highlight film about a couple weeks ago. You can go back and watch that webinar, but you cannot do an edit of a film on our platform. You need to take your film that is pre-edited or already done on a thing like Huddle, or it's on YouTube, and you're able to take that clip, you're able to take that link, put it in your player profile, and then the box will populate right inside the profile so coaches can watch their film, read their evaluation from the high school and club coach, and also get all their academic and important information on the profile as well. So you can add the clip, but you cannot edit the clip. Next, we do not advocate or evaluate athletes on our platform. So I told you before, I've been a long-time football coach. Could I evaluate a football athlete and let you know what level I think they could play at? Yeah, I could. I have that ability. I have that experience. But that is not what field level does. And so we are not in the business of promoting your athlete. We're not in the business of evaluating your athlete. That is all centered around your coach. They know your athlete the best. They will set you in the right direction. So as much as I'll talk to parents and I'll watch game film or highlight films of their athletes, and I might have my own little side information or my side opinions, but we don't do that. It is all on your coach to kind of give you that guidance in this process. Hopefully that made some sense to everybody. So what can you do on field level? So I wanted to tell you some things that you can't do to really make things really crystal clear. But what can you do on field level, and what can you do for free? You can build your profile, add video, add all your academic information, add your transcripts, add your hobbies and interests, honors and achievements, really impactful stuff. You can research schools. You can get our target school list put together. We recommend you add 20. When you put that target school list together, college coaches will now know that an athlete is targeting their school. They won't know what rank they are. They won't know what other schools you're also targeting. They just know that they're being targeted. You can get promoted by your coach. So your coach can promote you to anybody in their network that they're currently connected to. You can reply to recruiters when they contact you on our platform. Again, this is all for free. And lastly, for free, you can see generic information, generic activity. You can see if schools are looking at you. You can see if schools are finding you on search. You can see if your coach has promoted you. You can see if coaches are looking at your film or checking out your profile. You can see that activity in a generic way, and I'll talk about how we get into details later. with premium in the next slide here, but you can see the generic information. So what happens when you turn your profile on to premium? And again, today isn't a sales pitch on premium, but I am going to go through a quick information here about it. You're able to see your match strength. We provide great match strengths for you. We take an algorithm where we take information from your coach, we take information from you, we take information from the colleges and their previous activity on our platform, and we're able to give you match strength. We're able to give you recommendations. There are literally 2,000 plus colleges out there that have athletic programs. Schools you've never heard of in your life, and parts of the country you've never even thought of being in your life. But we've got information on this stuff, and we can provide you great recommendations to keep your mind open to new schools, that maybe schools that you may have not thought of before, but have your major, have an academic and athletic program that you'd be interested in. We provide those recommendations to you on our platform when you have the premium plan. When you open your premium plan up, you unlock the ability for your coach to promote you to anybody in that sport network. So for free, they're able to promote you to only the ones they're connected to. So let's say the baseball network, we have 20,000 plus coaches in our baseball network. But let's say the average coach has 100 connections that they're currently connected to. When an athlete has premium, you unlock that ability for the coach to promote you to anybody in that 2,000 person network, and go so on and so forth with all of our other 10 other networks that we have. You're able to write a letter of interest. So not only is the coach going to be able to promote you, let the college coach know how great you are and how you'd be a great fit for their program. With premium, you're allowed to write 3 letters of interest to schools that you're currently connected to. Schools that you're currently having on your target school list, letting them know 2 key questions: why you want to play for that program, why you want to live in that area geographically. Lets that coach know that you've done your homework in researching that school. And then arguably the most impactful thing, in my opinion, is seeing detailed activity. When you go to your account, go to activity, you're going to see generic information of people that are either found you on search, looked at your profile, watched your film. And it's going to be generic information. A Division II school in Indiana has watched your film. A Division III school in Texas has looked at your profile. With premium on FieldLevel, you're able to see exactly what school that is. And not only does that give that ability for you to see it, your athletes see it, but the coaches see it as well. So they can see something like, wow, I've seen a coach, this specific program has looked at this athlete 3 times this week. As a coach, I can be proactive, contact that coach and say, I see you've looked at my athlete 3 times this week. What can I do to bridge this gap to help you guys get in contact and get you more interested in recruiting my athlete? So premium plan is $372 for the year. And it is also, if you don't want to go for the year, you want to go just month to month, we have a $39 a month premium plan that you guys can use. And again, no contracts. You're able to start and stop that when you like. So FieldLevel premium, some cool stats. You're 7 times more likely to get followers, or I'm sorry, you're gonna get 7 times more followers when you have FieldLevel premium. You're gonna have 5 times more activity on your account when you have premium, and then you're 4 times more likely to commit using FieldLevel premium versus our FieldLevel free. But again, I don't want to scare anybody off. FieldLevel free is an amazing platform and an amazing tool for athletes that a lot of athletes have found some great success on it. But a lot more information, a lot more functionality opens up, or all of our functionality opens up when FieldLevel premium is used. So I am now done. Hopefully you guys have gotten a real core concept of what FieldLevel is, what you can do, what you can't do, our different user types, and then hopefully that really clears some things up for many of you or strengthen your understanding of our platform. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up for conversation and questions. And before we do that, I want you guys to notice in the top right-hand corner is our social platforms. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at FieldLevel, pretty simple. And that's my personal contact information, or my direct contact information below. That's my direct phone number. You can call or text me. That's my personal email. Feel free to contact me on that email as well. And then that's our website, fieldlevel.com. If there's a question you want to ask me personally, great. You can contact me there. If you want to ask now, awesome. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask everyone to use the chat feature. It's a little chat icon there. That's more helpful for me. Or else I'm going to wait for anybody that puts anything in that Q&A box. I'm going to wait till the very end to answer those questions. So ask in the chat. the chat box where we originally had the information that we wrote at the start of all this, because I'll be able to go through that easily and keep all this information on this presentation slide. Another quick thing before I start answering questions. If you have a very specific question to your athlete that's just about your kid and your situation, I'd ask that you contact me directly so we can talk through that individually, as opposed to those that have a generic question that could be helpful for everybody. That's where we really want to answer those questions here. So let's start it off. First up, is it bad to have too many schools in your target school list? This is from Michael Pittman earlier. No. Again, no school is going to see how many you have on there. We recommend you have at least 20. Much like all of us, our minds change. You know, we're going to move somewhere new. We have different cities in our mind, different states in our mind. We start whittling it down. We can add a city, we can move the city. So you can guys do that the same way with colleges. So add those schools, you can move them around the rankings. It's a very functional tool. Coaches, your high school and club coaches can see it. Parents and athletes can see it, so very helpful. Julie Northrup, yes, there will be a video that is posted. We post them on Fridays to our education series page. You can see that at the bottom of our homepage is an education series link you can go to. I also send out follow-up emails that'll have a link to it as well. Damon Bird, how many do you recommend uploading? I'm assuming you mean video. I recommend that you add film whenever you can. I don't think there's anything that's too much film. We also put a webinar up about how much film to add, or just film and highlight film in general. I recommend you take a look at that, where I do a little bit more of a deep dive on that. So check that out. But again, I think it's great to have as much film on there as possible, but making sure it's quality film. How many coaches can promote an athlete? As many coaches that you're connected to. Leilania, hopefully I didn't completely butcher that name. But if your son or daughter is on there and they have high school coaches and club coaches, and let's say those high school and club programs that they're attached to have multiple coaches on those teams as well, they can all promote your son or daughter. So I think it's great to have multiple people writing about the athlete, promoting the athlete. The more people that are verifying and recommending athletes, the better. What does it mean when FieldLevel shows that a school has identified you? How is that different than a coach follows you? So if a coach follows you, that means they have clicked a button that puts that athlete on their recruiting follow list. That means they are actively following that athlete. That athlete's information shows up in their feed. That information shows up for them when they go on FieldLevel. They have a quick links to go check that FieldLevel athlete's profile out. That's very good. That's probably one of the best things that you can get, is when a coach is following you. Identified you is going to be more along the lines of they've just identified you, or that you came up in a search for them. So not that, and that will come up with many athletes. Maureen, I'm not 100% sure what your question is, but it sounds pretty detailed and specific to your daughter. Please feel free to contact me, that I can dig in more about what that situation is. I can give you some more advice there. Great question, Mike Eskins. Do parents and players have separate logins? No. There's one athlete account. Hopefully you and the athlete are able, to share that one login. That's the only way to get in there. There are no separate parent accounts. We are thinking through having that ability to do that, a separate login. But again, we would hope that you and the athlete are able to share the login and the password so you can get in there as well. Damian Bird, when you hit promote now, what happens? You wouldn't be able to promote yourself on the athlete side. Again, everything goes through the high school and club coach. So you wouldn't be able to promote yourself on the athlete side. Brent, where is FieldLevel located? We are in beautiful Southern California, and San Diego is where our headquarters are. And we've got some other gentlemen that work in another part of California, up in the Ventura County area as well. But mainly our headquarters is in Solana Beach, California, about 15, 20 minutes north of downtown San Diego. Andrew, I was told that by my daughter's volleyball coach that she can get access to premium service for free. How can we make that happen? That would be a new thing to me. We do not give out free premium service unless you have like a special partnership or a special thing that we do on the side for some other reason. But yeah, there is no. You'd have to contact me separately to help me understand where you think that's where that volleyball coach thinks that. If your son is a JUCO player, does the high school and travel coach get involved? They can still technically be on their rosters, but I think it's now at the point for the JUCO coach to make the efforts of getting that athlete in front of four-year schools and promote that athlete. Great question here from Greg Kemper. Is there a time frame that you would suggest going from free to premium to maximize value as opposed to paying for premium for all 4 years of high school? Yes. I love this about us as a company. We are not overly money hungry. We've got great people that invest in us and love us and believe in what we're doing. And we want to make sure that parents and athletes are getting the most impact when they use our premium plan, because we know that it works. We recommend that athletes going into their junior summer, so basically once they've graduated or moved on from their sophomore year, going into their summer of their junior year, then going into their junior and senior years is when they turn on premium. We do want athletes on our platform their freshman and sophomore year. It is important for them to learn about the recruiting process. It's important for you, the parents, to learn about the recruiting process, to keep their profiles updated, to have film from freshman, sophomore year. But it's really, the recruiting really kicks in the gear going into their junior and senior years. So that is when we recommend to get that premium plan turned on. Great question. And again, I love the fact that FieldLevel, that we aren't just trying to get your money right now where it's not going to be impactful. We really want our service to be beneficial to you guys. Wendy Green, is there a reason why a high school coach would promote an athlete to a college in a region you may not have any interest in or listed as a target school? Sure, a high school coach may just be eager to help that athlete find options. And so I recommend, Wendy, that you communicate with that coach specifically where as a family you've decided where the athlete is interested in going to. And so that coach doesn't waste any other coach's time at the college level of a promotion, or doesn't let's say you are not okay with your son or daughter leaving outside of a state that touches your state. And this school, and there's different schools around the country that from places that you're not interested in your son or daughter going to that are contacting him. Talk to your coach, get on the same page, or that might give that opportunity to that athlete to kind of broaden his or her horizons of new opportunities and options. It's also a good way for high school coaches can think that if they get a couple schools maybe outside the interest point that the athlete's interested in, to start offering and giving interest to that athlete, that they can then turn that around and kind of go to other coaches in the area and say, well, I've got XYZ coaches in this geographic location really interested in offering this athlete. You guys better get on board or else you might lose an in-state athlete. David Ford, as you mentioned, there are countless colleges, many we've never heard of. Do you provide any information on schools or what the education program they offer, trying to find a good academic / team fit? Great message. Great question here. We do have a college search tool. We do have recommendations that open up with premium. We've also got webinars in the past that talk about these options, and then I provide links and show links where you can go to NCAA Division 1, 2, 3, and kind of whittle that down. They have maps where you can filter those through and find options. NAIA has maps. The NJCAA, which is a major junior college organization, has a map with filters breaking it down geographically. And then one of our partners, the NWAC, they are a junior college organization in the Pacific Northwest. Awesome people up there. They have maps as well on their website to find the right school geographically, and you can get more information on that as well. Griselda, how soon should we start an athlete profile? Again, I recommend you guys start one right away, as soon as possible. And again, once you guys jump into that, summer going into the junior year is when the best time to start using FieldLevel Premium is. I noticed our club coach is not in the system. Does it cost them anything to join? Nope, it is 100% free for them. So encourage them to join, encourage them to give them my contact information here, and feel free to have them contact me. I'd love to talk to them about FieldLevel and how impactful it could be for their club. Okay, what is the best approach to get your coach who is not tech savvy to update certification? To be honest with you, I think the best way is to have them contact me or somebody on our team, and we will walk them through it. We'll do a screen share. We'll click around with them. We'll show them how easy it is, and it is very easy to do it. They can do it on their phone. They can do it on their computer. They can have an assistant coach do it for them. So we can help them, walk them through this process to get them very comfortable in how to go about it. For the coaches, how do they find the athlete they need to use the athlete's login, or do they create their own just to search kid? Leilania, I believe you're asking about college coaches. They have their own login. Yeah, the college coaches have their own accounts themselves, and that's how they're able to search for kids. I think that's what you're asking. Lou, any advice on sending your 3 letters of interest? They first need to be on your target school list. And once a college coach, so you write 3 letters of interest to the 3 schools on your target school list that you're most interested in. If that coach ends up following you, you get a letter back. So you can write it to a 4th school. That happens. You can write it to a 5th school. You can also cancel those letters. Let's say you write these 3, none of these 3 schools end up following you. You don't feel like you're getting much traction with those schools. You can cancel those letters and then reassign those letters to rewrite those letters and then assign those to somebody else. So I recommend you do it to the schools that you're most interested in being part of. College coaches do not pay a fee to be on FieldLevel. That was Daryl's question. Good question. Wendy, you're asking a pretty specific question about when college coaches, football coaches specifically, post their recruiting needs. You put offensive line, defensive end here. They post those throughout the year. So, I mean, I'm a football coach. I've got an account myself. I'm a user. I was a user before I became an employee. That's how I learned about FieldLevel, and that's how I fell in love with FieldLevel. And so they're posting them throughout the year. I get emails daily about different coaches posting the recruiting needs. Different coaches do it at different times of year. Depends on what time they have, where they're at in there. Maybe they have a bye week, and that's when they post all their stuff. Maybe they wait till the end. Maybe they do it all year long. It depends on the level. Depends on how many coaches are on that staff. So that kind of dictates how much free time they have to do, or not free time, but how much time they have to do recruiting during the season. It's all dependent upon different programs. Oh, Lilian, no. So high school coach, how do they find you to promote? Do they need your login? No. High school and club coaches have their own account. Your athlete is on their roster, and they're able to mirror athletes' activity. They're able to mirror the athlete account, see what you have done, what you need to finish, what you need to get updated. Then they are able to promote from their account, and they have an very easy way of selecting the athlete, and then promoting that athlete to the coaches that they feel will be a good fit. Do we provide assistance in writing letters, or is there a template to use? We asked 2 questions. Those questions are on there. If you want to hit me up, I'm glad. Again, that's my contact information. If you want a little bit a little more detail on what we think you should have in those letters of interest in those 2 questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to talk you through it. Wendy, who did you say we should add to our account? Is it the athlete or the coaches? So Wendy, you have your son, football player. Your son has a account on FieldLevel. His account is attached to his coach and his program's account. I'm using random names here. So your son is attached to Lincoln High School's football account, and Coach Smith at Lincoln High School is running the Lincoln High School football account page. He will then, they are connected, and you would then want to make sure that your son is connected to that coach's account. That coach will then promote your athlete to colleges around the country. Hopefully that answered your question. All right. Well, looks like we're winding down. People are falling off, which I don't blame them. And you guys have asked some great questions. Hopefully I helped you guys out with that. Again, I really hope you guys got a clear understanding of FieldLevel today. Again, we're always here to help. You can schedule calls with us on our website to either speak with me or somebody else on our team. You can call me, email me directly. Again, we really want to help the parents. We know how impactful you are. We know that you guys are so influential in this process. And I hope you guys join more of our webinars as we walk through different subject matters throughout this month and as we go forward. And feel free to write in. If there's something that you guys are interested in, I'd love to help you guys out and talk you through it. Or I get enough people asking me these questions from parents. That'll be one of our next webinar subjects. Again, thank you so much for joining today. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy your weekend. Thanks, guys.